happening, lads and lassies, and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be taking an actual in-depth look at Gotham Knights now that it has been released. So this is going to be my honest opinions on this new game. And let's get this straight off the bat. The people that were moaning about the 30 FPS cap on PlayStation, I'm not really in your boat still to this day, because I've been playing this on PC and it runs quite well. Sometimes there is issues, I'm not going to lie, there is frame rate issues sometimes on the PC, or on my laptop at least anyway. I was playing through this game and I've been having a lot of fun with it. I mean, a blast with this game. Like, it does live up to what I was hoping it to do, because obviously I like to play as Nightwing because Dickgrayson is my favourite Robin, he's my favourite hero. I actually prefer more than Batman. I know that's ludicrous, but that's just the way I've always been with these types of things. But my biggest issue with the frame rates is it could just be a bit better. Other than that, when it comes to the gameplay itself, which you'll see in a minute, it is really good, it is fun. It can get a bit tedious sometimes every now and then, but you see, once you've learned what you're doing and you've got a bunch of upgrades and things, it does become more fun. And I think the story to me is where it really hits off. I've not completed it all yet, but from what I've played and gone through, I won't put too many spoilers on this, so you know, you can play it yourself. But obviously Bruce Wayne is dead, everybody knows that. He is now finito, he down in the ground, so it's a very interesting tale. And you know, you trail people, you know, you're doing side missions like saving hostages, and you've got all these nice neat side activities as well as the main story missions. And obviously sometimes you have to do the side missions to even actually do the main missions, which I really like, because a lot of my favourite games done that, like the original Saints Row 2 and Saints Row 1. When you used to play the game, you could obviously go through missions and things of the same thing, but you would always have to complete the side quests to be able to continue on the story after you moved on. But one of my favourite things about this game is that it is fun, the traversal's fun. The Soical is a bit hit or miss for me. I don't really use it all too much, especially now that I've got Robin up to knighthood, so he's got his glider. So the bat cycles and stuff are really cool, but the thing for me when it comes to them is it causes too much frame drops for me at the moment. So I don't know if that's just when I'm recording though, because when I tend to play it without recording, it works a bit better, but it could just be because of me recording it, so I could chalk that up to my system. But overall though, the game is really fun. You get to do all your favourite detective stuff, trying to locate things, trying to find things, you know. It can get very hard at points, and it can get annoyingly frustrating when you've went round about the same 6 rooms and then you find out it's like the teensiest little thing in the corner and you're like, oh my god. The leveling up system is quite fun. It can get a bit annoying though, because sometimes you might go do like a crime solving thing, and then you find out that obviously, wait a minute, I can't do this, I'm not a high enough level. These people are like level 10 and I'm only level 8, so okay. But if you pay attention to the levels of the missions and things, it will show you the missions that you can do at your level and the ones that are going to be a bit of more of a struggle. There is some enemies in this game that I'm not going to lie, you're going to get annoyed at. They're fucking annoying, and mind the language. It's just to the point where sometimes it can be very frustrating when it comes to things of certain natures, when there's a bigger enemy and you can be beating the crap out of them, and next minute they do like a 3-4 point combo on you and you're like having to heal every 5 minutes. And sometimes it can get you to die and things like that. Of course, I respect the difficulty, because I actually like when a game's difficult. I like a challenge. But sometimes it feels like it's a bit unfair when they throw like 3 of them at you at one time and you're just, as well as about 5 or 6 goons all at the same time. Which obviously, you know, you're meant to be the Bat family, you're meant to be able to, you know, take on this amount of threat. So it's just also me being a bit of a bad player and learning the mechanics still, because even still, now that I've been playing it for a good few hours and I've went for a good bit of the chunk of the story and things, the gameplay in the back won't have all story spoilers. It will have a spoiler here or there, but not major ones. It's very still early in the game stuff, so just hope yous don't mind those little sprinkles of spoilers along with some of the gameplay. But there's a lot of things that are fun in this. There's a lot of cool collectibles. There's a lot of cool places you can travel and do a lot of like fast travel places and stuff, just like anywhere in every other open world game. I did have a person join me at one point when I was playing. Unfortunately, I never got to see the gameplay of us together because by the time he caught up to me when I was doing a mission, he ended up just leaving, so I don't know why. Maybe he was a lower level than me and I didn't know. But it seems like it worked perfectly fine though, because I was at one side of the map and he was on the other side, and there was no frame rate issues when it came to that. So... But the one thing that is the overall thing that's annoying me the most about seeing people review this, or the way they're talking about this game, is that it's repetitive, it's boring, it's this, that, the next thing, right? A lot of people forget this isn't meant to be another Arkham game. This is more story driven than the Arkham games. Yes, don't get me wrong, the Arkham games had quality stories. But there's something about this story that I don't know, it's wrapping me into it, it's grasping me, and I'm like, I want to play this. I want to find out what's happening. I want to know more. I want to know what's going on with why Batman had to die, and you know, searching in the Court of Owls. Obviously, everyone knows about them, and it's the same with Harley and a few other enemies. They've been, you know, at least I've went up against Mr. Freeze, and well, not really up against him per se, but I've went up against his goons, and they can be a right handful sometimes. A lot of the things in this game actually do make me happy. The customization is great in this game, by the way. There is a lot of fun customizations. The crafting is a bit 50-50. Sometimes I like the crafting, but most of the times, unfortunately for me, I'm getting crafting items that don't match the way I want to have my Nightwing look. So sometimes I'll change him up and constantly change the way he's looking, because I'm not really happy with the way he looks yet. But hopefully in some point in time soon, I'll end up eventually getting the Nightwing sort of aesthetic I want. But one thing I think a lot of people did not know, or if they haven't played it, or if they are thinking about playing this, one thing I've noticed, even though you can change the hairstyles and the way they look outside in their costume, when they ultimately come back to the Belfry, they look the exact same as at the beginning of the game. So even if you put a long-haired version of Dick on, he's going to come back with his short hair when he's in the Belfry. If you change Tim's hairstyle, he's still going to have that weirdo hairstyle that he's got, which I'm not the biggest fan of. And it's the same with Jason. Like, you can make him look cooler, but ultimately all their normal basic look is set in stone. You cannot change that, which is kind of upsetting, because I kind of hope that, you know, if you change that on the suits and stuff, then it would eventually change on the person when you're in cutscenes. When you're in a Nightwing costume or a Batgirl costume and you're in a cutscene out in the world, it will. But when you're back at the Belfry, it's back to the default versions of yourself, which I kind of fear I'm 50-50 on. It's like, I get it, you know, it's the way they look in this game, but I kind of wished you could have changed that as well, because it would have made it a bit better. There is a lot of people hating on this game, and don't get me wrong, I understand some of the hate, because obviously performance issues sometimes I've had, you know, sometimes, you know, the combat is fun, don't get me wrong, I don't have an issue with the combat as much as people have been having. I think people are just too caught up in the past when it comes to the Arkham games and think, oh, this was the best free-flowing combat. Yeah, but if anybody remembers correctly, it's just button mashy. Where this one, it tries to make you think more and be more tactical with your fighting, and obviously people don't like it when they have to do more effort than just spam a button. So I can understand why people get annoyed at that. Some of the combos and stuff, I understand why they get annoyed, because some of the times when I've been doing them and fighting people, I kind of end up doing most of the similar moves and stuff, which I understand why people would get bored of that. But is it just the fact that the combat isn't as well diverse, or is it because we're still bad at the combat? That's my sort of train thought, because a lot of people tend to do this thing where they judge something before they even actually have properly learned it all. And I can't say too much more else, because other than that, without getting into spoiler territory, the storytelling in this so far, for my opinion, is a great story. If they ruin it halfway through the game and I find that out, don't worry, I shall tell you later on, and I shall make sure my voice is clear. Because as much as I've obviously done a video on why I think people were overreacting to the 30 frames per second cap on the PlayStations and the Xbox, I can understand now why they would do that, because even on PC, and I have a powerful laptop, it's still kind of struggling to handle a lot of the things that I have to do in the game sometimes when I'm recording. When I'm not recording, it's not as bad. So people thinking, oh yeah, PC's got the best ultimate experience. Not so much. Like, you can when it plays nicely, but other times it's not so much the case. So I understand the frustrations, but I think people need to start realizing these games, especially this one, is not as bad as we make it out to be. We are coming from a negative headspace to begin with, because you've seen some sort of gameplay of it, or you've been watching like rumors and stuff, and before you get your hands on it, you've already made your opinion, and then by the time you get your hands on the game, it's not going to live up to what you want, or you're already going to go in with a bad mindset, so you're just going to dislike it anyway, because you're already predetermined to hate the game. Which I tried my best not to let happen, especially with this game, because I was really excited, because I'm a Nightwing fan. I really wanted to play as Robin as well, which I'll probably do at some point, but what I think I'm going to do is play through the story once with Nightwing, and then do it again with Robin, and then obviously Batgirl and Red Hood eventually, because as much as obviously I love the rest of the Bat family, I can't say it anymore, or how much I can love this character. I love Nightwing. I love Dick Grayson. He's the original Robin. He's one of the best characters in the DC universe to me. So I am a bit biased. So take that with a grain of salt. So for me, he is a fun character to play, but some people might not like his combat because it can be a bit slow. Anyway, I hope you did enjoy this video, and I shall see you in the next one.